movement literacy in every single expectation for your class. For example, I have S1E25, which is standard number 1. The physically competent individual has the movement skills and literacy for participating in games and activities. And then E2 is outcome 2. And then how it says E, that means it's elementary. So it's the elementary outcome number 2. And then 5, so that's your 5th grade outcome, your 5th grade standard. Employs appropriate pacing for a variety of running distances. So in your 5th grade class, you need to be able to do different paces. Then we have others, so standard 3, this one's about movement. This is lifetime activity domain on standard 3. It's the participant, is the physically literate individual is going to be able to apply their ideas and tactics to a lifelong physical activity. That's what standard number 3 states. And by the 6th grade, middle school outcome 9, they need to employ correct techniques of stretching. So, and then there's other areas. So we got another standard 3. We have 3 areas of weakness based on health-related fitness assessment. In the high school domain, so we have standard number 5. This one's the affective domain standard. And this one says in the high school 2, so there's 2 levels in high school. Once you get up to high, it's not like 9, 10, 11, 12. It's high 1 and high 2. So level 1, level 2. So you know there's usually like 2 Ps in high school. So level 2, you need to challenge and experience success for a desire to participate in self-selected physical activities. So I thought this was a fun standard to put on here because this is kind of linking to what I would do in my in the exercise plan. You can select your own activities, what you personally think is awesome to incorporate, what doesn't give you stress or anxiety, what you enjoy doing personally. So this whole thing is a research project, multiple years of research. It's been updated a few times. And fun fact, the professor I'd be working at Southern Miss helped write the book. Wow. So he's pretty big.
For the Common Core or the Mississippi
version? The New Shape America 2015, or that 2015's one actually just got released because they do the research, and he helped write the book.
Oh,
so his name's on the title.
What's his name?
Robert Doan.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's really cool. You're pretty, important. I was like, so I need to know these before I go there.
Good work, though. You did a good summary there.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, it's they go out there and they determine what students should be able to do. So how this fits, obviously, the curriculum in the exercise classes should be driven off of these standards. Okay? Because standard-based physical education is propelling for more lifetime activities, and that's giving them the skills and competencies they need. A lot of physical education classes out there, I've been observing, I've been to a lot of PE classrooms, especially doing my research, and they're not following the standards. What they're doing is say, let's play basketball today, and then they just play basketball. Let's play football today, and then they play football. You know, I don't really do anything. Let's have fun Friday. And I'm like, oh, that's not standard-based physical education. So this is standard-based, and this is what should drive the curriculum. So I decided to do some long-term Bendora. Y'all appreciate this. Okay. So anyways, he created this social cognitive theory in 1986, and I read an article that is wrote in 2004, and this is Help Promotion by the Social Cognitive Means. So what this article is, it's written by Bendora, but this is the one that the library had access to. His original article was not found. But it's really cool because he totally outlines everything, and then he provides further information of how to create more help promotion off of his social cognitive theory. He also compared the social cognitive theory to about 6 other theories out there, so I got to see about those. And then he described some ways to, he created this nice flow chart that showed how to create more help promotion based off of his theory and then based off other theories. And it was just a really great learning tool. I saved this one, and I'll plan to go back to it. But the key points of the social cognitive theory is help promotion, and the decision to be physically active and to stay healthy is based off of your knowledge, which was number 1. And I was like, bing, that's what I'm doing my research on. So I thought that was really important. Understanding the terms, the movements, the knowledge, all that. Number 1, most important. The next is your efficacy. I actually put a star with that because that's what he said was number 1 important. But he put knowledge first. But he said self-efficacy was the number 1. And then he describes some different levels. So self-efficacy, and there's a lot of different definitions for that term. This is foundation of human movement, the belief that you can do it. Okay, so that's like, I can do it. That's just the self-thought in you. I got this. I'm good. Got it. Or I can do that. That's two different ways to describe self-efficacy, high or low. But there's also moderate. You give up. You go halfway and you're like, oh, I was so close, but I really can't do it. Those type of individuals need additional support. Third level is, this is out of my control. I cannot do this. I can't even start. Those individuals, obviously they can. They just need extensive guidance, according to Vendor. So I thought that was valuable information to put into my slide and to understand as somebody that would be leading physical activity, is that there are different levels of self-efficacy and there's different levels of support that are needed for those individuals depending on their ability, what they perceive that they can or cannot do. Outcome expectations is another very important key point in determining your health and determining your physical activity. We have your physical outcomes, so that is what physically is going to happen to your body. So if you're thinking about what's going to happen, your outcomes, you're like, okay, what am I going to do? I have physical outcomes, I have social approval outcomes, and positive and negative self-evaluation. So the first one is how I want my body to look. The second one is how other people think my body's going to look, or how they're going to think that I'm better now, or I'm different now. And then the third is, am I personally, do I feel any better? They might think I look better. I might look in the mirror and think I'm better, but do I actually feel emotionally enhanced by doing these activities or whatever? So those are 3 different types of outcomes that are important to understand when you're trying to promote for health promotion. The next are goals. So that's why, this is another reason why goals are on my exercise plan assessment and rubric, because goals provide incentive and guide your health habits. Long-term and short-term, so we have long-term goals that are going to control our behavior for, sets the course for change. It just sets it all out. And then the short-term is the here and the now, what I'm going to accomplish by the end of this week or by the end of this session. So, and perceived facilitators and impediments, these are also like barriers. In my lifetime participation poster and my research, I talk about barriers, the number one hindrance in physical educators from preventing or providing lifetime activities is because they don't think that they can do it and they think it's too much of a work. So these barriers, facilitators, impediments, I thought really just linked well with what I've been trying to show in my research, because these are the obstacles and the stuff to surrender, and it's the personal factors that are going to hinder going forward with your health. So we have some, in parentheses, I have depression, anxiety, weather, interest. It's stuff that you have to surrender or take under control before you can go further. So how this fits, so that my little arrows, I was trying to fit this all on one side. So your healthy behavior is based first off your goals. Now, the next thing that influences your goals is the social factors, social structural factors, and outcome expectations. So both of those things together are going to create your goals. Your goals are going to create your fitness. But both of those are all dependent on your self-efficacy. So that's why it's very important to focus on increasing self-efficacy in physical education and other activity courses, because that will then create the goals, which then promotes a positive learning environment and a health environment. Flowchart. Okay, so then I have a book, just trying to stay well-rounded here. Found this one in the library, and it's from 1979, but I found some cool stuff in it. It's called The Curriculum in Physical Education. They're trying to improve the curriculum, but obviously it's been improved a lot since then. But what I found is it's really similar to what we would do today. So fun fact, John Frederick Herbert, from those years, taught orderly attention to the selection of organization of the subject, and he applied these views to physical education. So he created curriculum. So we should know that, being in this class.
The dude.
You knew that? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. I said, that's the dude.
Yeah, that's the guy. So this is our class owner right here. He did it. Anyways, he did a lot of work on physical education too, and thought that it should be orderly recruitment of the things that we're learning. So I thought that was cool. I was like, hey, we got this. So when planning a curriculum, you need to take into account health needs, social needs, trends, environment, and state education departments, all sorts of other things. And this is in 1979. So how this fits is all of this is about the same as what it is today. So I thought that was interesting, the state education department's objective standards, policies, all that. And what this guy, I focused on one chapter in this slide and on my annotated bib. And his main point was when creating the curriculum in physical education, you need to focus on all the points and never dig too deep or never only narrow in on one, because then you're forgetting about the other socio-economical and individual student needs in the curriculum. So I thought that was valuable, since my presentation and my research project is not all focused on just being physically active right here and now. It's about the affective domain, the cognitive domain, increasing self-efficacy, and the fitness knowledge and the literacy in the movement literacy. So he wants us to give more broad and reach out to all the factors that influence the curriculum, and that's why I added him into my research presentation. So further research questions. Does the teacher or instructor have any effect basically on the amount of physical activity? So I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought about that and I was like, so what if we're doing all this work to try to change the way we're teaching physical education or make sure that we're working? Is that going to even change when you're 60 and you haven't had PE since you were 15? Mm-hmm. You know, does your instruction even matter? I think it does. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if I don't think it matters. But there's some people that are like, it doesn't matter, you know. It's what I want to do, I'm going to do, you know. I'm my own, you know. So I think that's an important research area in PE. And would a teacher, so this kind of is springing off my lifetime activity project that I did this semester. Would you even change the way you taught if you were a current accredited physical education teacher, if you learned that these activities would promote more lifetime wellness? Would you even incorporate them or change or use them in your classroom? Or would you not care? And then how can teachers overcome personal barriers to prevent them? Teachers help students overcome. So increasing self-efficacy, how could you overcome the other barriers that they may be faced with? And does the teaching method alter lifetime participation? So